Paardepoort, which carries the road number P0413, is a long gravel road connecting three distinct poorts that cut through the east-west running ridges just north of the R75 main road between Kirkwood and Janssenville. It services a number of farms and provides a lovely gravel alternative from Kirkwood to the Darlington Dam, and similarly an enjoyable return route after completing the P0413 4x4 route. It's a long poort at 16.4 kilometers, but the ever-changing scenery between tall mountains and craggy outcrops in the poorts to the open farmland between each of the poorts provides a wonderful variety of scenery. Allow about 40 minutes to drive the poort, excluding stops. It's best to drive on deflated tires for improved traction, a softer ride, and a reduced risk of punctures. Do not drive faster than 80 km per hour on soft tires and reinflate as soon as you're back on tar. There are a number of game farms and upmarket hunting lodges in the area, including the well-known Koffielaagte Lodge. Don't be put off by the private-looking entrance gates here, as this is a publicly accessible road and everyone is allowed access. This is a relatively easy drive, with the biggest danger being that of flash floods. All of the rivers are crossed via concrete culverts, and as is the nature of all poorts, when a large amount of water is forced through a narrow gap in the mountains, conditions can very quickly become life-threatening. If there's stormy weather on the horizon, be careful that you don't get trapped in one of these poorts. Looking back into the history of the area, the governor of the Cape Colony at the time, Sir John Francis Cradock, gave the first farms in the Sundays River Valley to the leaders of the successful Burger Commandos for their role in the victories in the border wars of 1811 and 1812. These farms were awarded to Magistrate Keiler of Uitenhage, who received Geelhoutboom, Commandant Ignatius Miller, who received Klaaskraal, situated just outside what is now Kirkwood, and Field Cornet J.S. van Niekerk, who received the farm Govermentsbeloning. It's on the latter farm that Kirkwood would be established many decades later. In 1877, James Summers Kirkwood, an auctioneer from Port Elizabeth, arrived to auction off Govermentsbeloning. When a flooded Sundays River prevented Kirkwood from reaching this farm, he climbed a nearby hill known today as the Lookout. From there he had a view of the entire valley and had a vision of this valley, which was overgrown by bushes at the time, being transformed into irrigated fields with fruit trees. He also envisioned this farm produce being delivered via river barges all the way to Port Elizabeth. Shortly afterwards, James Kirkwood himself purchased Govermentsbeloning as well as some other farms in the valley. He subsequently founded the Sundays River Land and Irrigation Company as well as the village of Bayville. Later, Kirkwood started to prepare the land for irrigation, but despite of a very positive prospectus and very good publicity, nobody was really interested in buying stock in his venture. One of the reasons may be that it coincided with a big diamond rush to Kimberley. In consequence, his company eventually failed and was declared bankrupt. Kirkwood died in 1889, a financially and spiritually broken man. However, Kirkwood can be considered to have been ahead of his time, as his vision became true in the next century when the Sundays River Irrigation Project and eventually the Orange River Water Project were built. His name also lives on in the town of Kirkwood that was founded in 1912 on his first farm, Govermentsbeloning. At the beginning of the 19th century, the Sundays River formed the eastern border of the then Cape Colony and was the area around Kirkwood, consequently the scene of many armed conflicts, Khoi against Xhosa, Khoi and Xhosa together against the Boers, and the British together, and finally the Boers against the British during the Second Anglo-Boer War. During this war, General Jan Smuts and his commando of 250 men passed through the valley on their epic campaign to the northwest. Indeed, the three Boers who died the further south during the war were killed on Cecil John Rhodes' farm Brakkefontein. Shortly after these casualties were incurred, a major battle took place on the P0413 mountain pass. Kirkwood's subtropical climate makes it ideal for the growing of citrus fruits, and this has made it the citrus capital of the Eastern Cape. Kirkwood is the center of one of the largest citrus growing regions in South Africa, with approximately 120 square kilometers of citrus orchards. Approximately 18 million cartons of oranges, lemons, grapefruit and other citrus fruit are exported from this region each year. Be sure to watch part 2 of Paardepoort, which deals with the northern section.